Hello friends, welcome back. I'm starting yet another journal. So this is journal number 3 that I'm starting on. One I started over on Patreon. I've of course been working on the Nostalgic Noel journal with Rachel Bella Crafts. This one I've been so eager to get to this, and it's just taken me a lot of headspace to work out how to do it, and I'm still feeling my way. This is the Junk Journal Studio. The digital kit is Christmas Wonder, and I'm really excited to get into it. It's my first ever Little Golden Book journal, and that's part of the reason, because the size is an odd size. It doesn't conform to A4 paper. When I tried printing out at US letter size, that didn't work either. It still didn't kind of line up with the size of the journal. So I had to find a workaround so that I didn't take away from the beautiful pages, but that it worked in the journal. So I did find a way. It was a lot of fiddling around, but I got there, and I have printed out my pages. I think I'm going with 2 signatures. I think that's the plan at the moment. I'm not going to sew in on camera because I'm really nervous. I've never done a Little Golden Book. I have done multiple signature journals, but not like this. I just want to work through it at my own pace, not on camera, because there is extra pressure as soon as you turn the camera on, and I feel like I don't want to ruin the experience by putting that pressure on. So please forgive me, I will not be sewing in on camera. But I have sprayed a couple of doilies. This one is supposed to be red. It's more pink, but we're going with it. And this green one, I really would like a darker green as well, but I'm just working with what sprays I've got. So need to find a place. So I've got all the pages kind of worked out. I am using some book pages from the Little Golden Book. That's 12 Days of Christmas as the Little Golden Book. So where do we want a doily? I should mention, basically, give or take, organized the signatures into a red one and a green one. So you'll find predominantly green papers in this side, like so. It's not entirely green. There are ones that are more sort of the yellowy tones, and this one is more predominantly the red. Okay, so I just thought that's something a little bit different. I haven't done that either, but of course there's red and green in both. So this first one is the red one, so let's go with the red/pink doily and see where we might like to pop it. So there is a little bit of pink here from the book page. I'm sure it will be fine. Just not quite sure where I want to put it. And then the middle of the signature is there. Don't think I want it against that red because it makes it look really super pink. Maybe here. I mean, it still looks really pink. Or maybe, actually, maybe we put it there. That dresses that up a little bit, doesn't it? Okay, so that's the red one. Let's do the green one. And then I have a project that I've kind of dreamed up in my head. I have not tested it. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know how I'm going to do it. So I'm just going to bring you along for the ride, and we're just going to try and see what happens. And we'll put that one there. It's managed to get a little bit of the pink/red on it from my spray box. Okay, so that's kind of where the journal's at the moment. It's got a fabric spine, the different fabric on the inside, and it's got a strip of cardstock, some Tyvek, and then the fabric. So it's a really sturdy spine as well. I'm really excited by this. I think it's going to be cool as long as I can just calmly work my way through any issues or how-tos. But we're going to pop it aside for now. Actually, no, we're not. We need to know the height of a page. So I'm going to steal the first page from the red signature, just so we've got a size guide. And I'm going to make a belly band, but not just a belly band. So just go with me, guys. As I said, I don't know how this is going to work. We'll find out together. So I've chosen this one for my belly band base, and I want to fold it in half. So I'm kind of eyeballing, and we need the height. So let's trim one of the white edges off on the bottom, and then we need the height of our page. So we're going to go grab a pencil there. Okay, going to make some fun wee scraps. This white edge I'm not worried about because it's going to be folded under. Right, I think we don't need our signature page, but I'm just going to leave it to the side just in case. Right, so I'm going to fold this in on both sides, so it's going to reinforce both sides. Just give it a nice press. I want those to overlap a little bit. Hopefully fold it straight. Yeah, see, I'm already grabbing for our page. Just want to check the width, and I think that looks like a good width. Perhaps it's easier to see on that background. Okay. Now, I don't think I've folded it particularly straight, so I'm just going to take a little miter off these bottom, just a tiny bit on both sides, just enough that it's not going to be an issue of ugly visibility. If you fold properly, you don't really need to do this, but I'm otherwise happy with my fold, so I'm just going to whip in and take the little wedge out. See, just a tiny little bit. It's going to be enough. Right, now to glue. You could glue stick. Do I want to glue stick? Okay, you told me yes, do glue stick, so I'm going glue stick. Far be it for me to rebel against the masses. I'm in a something of a weird mood. It's really warm here today. It's a beautiful, absolutely gorgeous day. 27 degrees apparently. And I've done 2 loads of washing and got them dry out on the line. So it was sheet and towel day. So got all the sheets and all the towels caught up, which is just absolutely fantastic. And then I got those in off the line, and then I had to duck down the road, and it was just like my old car that I've got that's actually belongs to my mum and stepfather. The air conditioning doesn't work all that well, so it was quite a stuffy ride down the road, and then came back, and then I was rushing around doing a few other bits, and I'm just like, I'm warm. See, like bare arms. It's warm. Okay, so that's our belly band base. I'm going to, where have I put my journal page? I've already buried it under my glue book. Just for ease, I'm going to fold this back the other way, just so we can kind of get a feel for what it's going to look like. So really simple, straight off, it's just a belly band at the moment. I didn't grab out any lace. I was thinking about lace, but however, we might not need it anyway. I am going to use my aged mahogany ink to ink it. I'm using this one on all my Christmas journals, the aged mahogany, because I just think it's works really well with the Christmas colours. So it's getting a workout at the moment. I'm hardly touching my vintage photo. It feels very unusual. but it's a nice change, and I do love this reddy brown. It's just gorgeous, like a fine wine. Yep. Not that I'm a huge wine drinker, but you know. Okay, belly band done. Right, next step is I want to create a pocket with the belly band. Now I'm not just going to stick a pocket on the front. I want to incorporate it. That's probably, I do want to like add it to the belly band, but not on top. I want to add it underneath. I haven't actually chosen a paper out. What? So this is more green. There is this, I've got the papers just at the top of my desk here, which is why I'm reaching under the camera. We could go, I think that would be nice. Okay. Just take, I don't know if I need to take the white edge off, but we're going to. And because it's going to go under the belly band, it's going to be a side loading pocket. Because if we want to do a top loading, then it needs to be on top of the belly band, but I want it underneath, so it has to be a side loading. Top loading would not work. So we need, how wide? Actually, if I use my ruler and kind of, so our belly band is 1 7/8 inches, or just over 4.5 centimeters. So what if we went 4 inches, so just over 10 centimeters. I think I'll go with that. So 4 inches. Let's turn the paper around, measure off 4 inches. As I mentioned at the beginning, I'm just totally making this up on the fly. I have not thought through the process at all. You can probably tell. Okay, so I'm going to, so it's going to be side loading. Maybe I should have made it a bit wider so I had more real estate to work with. Well, we still have more paper, so maybe we'll go 4.5 to end up with a 4-inch pocket. And you know, we're just making more fun scraps. Right. Because I want the edge. I mean, I could have just reinforced it with a strip of paper, but my brain didn't go in that direction first up. It was like, oh well, just cut another strip. Just make it wider. Okay. So how deep do we want the pocket? Kind of that looks, I'm just eyeballing this, guys, just purely eyeballing about what looks good. I think that would make a good pocket, so I'm going to fold, just going to double check that dimension. Well, we're only just at over 4 inches now. Did I fold that straight? It does not look straight. Oh, it's not bad. It's a little off, but it's okay. I was thinking, if I wanted to gusset on this side as well, then we're going to make our pocket quite a bit narrower. Maybe I should have done a prototype. Too late now. So let's fold this down so we can kind of get an idea of the height. So something like that. So I'm kind of imagining that it loads from this side. Doesn't matter if that was a little bit narrower. Just try and do a tiny wee fold which is going to be really difficult to get straight. I must have mismeasured when I did that second cut. I must have only done 4 1/4 inches rather than 4 1/2, because I mean that's not half an inch. I don't know. Best laid plans, not that I had a plan. Okay. Yeah, I think that will work. That will work. Okay. So where do I want, which gussets do I want to leave? So this will be the leading edge. So I'm going to trim out, do a mitre here and trim this whole side piece off. I'll need to trim some of this off as well, but I'm just kind of figuring out as I go along. Sorry, I may have been too far back then and off camera. My apologies if I was. Aren't these papers gorgeous? Really, really usable. You know, these beautiful patterns and colours. Just so useful. And let's do the same on the other side on this wee gusset that we've got going on. You could measure properly and give yourself a bit more space to work with, and your page size will be different, so just make it according to the size that looks good on your page. Or maybe you're working with a smaller page, well then you can do that as well. Okay, now I've made a mistake, haven't I? Have I? Just going to go in that side. This needs to glue down. That's, I think, part of my problem. Because it's still flappy, I'm tending to look at it as a gusset as opposed to a reinforcement for the pocket. And I think I should have left the whole strip. But, you know, life's full of shoulds. Should have done this, should have done that. And just got a little peak over there. Probably won't matter by the time I'm finished, but we'll take it off just in case it does. So this is going to be our far end of our pocket. So we do need that gusset on that side. We perhaps should have left that on, so I've just made more work for myself, that's all guys, you know, nothing new really. Let's just add a little bit of reinforcing in there. Take it out, add it back in, no dramas. There's always a way to fix something. And sometimes fixing something means acknowledging when it's time to put it in the bin. But don't often do that. Usually there's a way to rectify any issues. So if I hadn't have trimmed that gusset off, we would have been fine. Because I was, yeah, again, I was thinking of it as a gusset, and it's not. It's not actually a gusset. Stop calling it a gusset, dear. You're just confusing yourself and everybody else. So basically, we're just making a side-loading pocket, so make it however you like. You don't have to follow my messy instructions if you could follow them. Right, to further help myself, just got a little clump of glue on the side of my glue stick, taking care of that. Hopefully this is dry. I'm going to take a little thumb notch out of that, just a little one, just a baby little, actually, baby little notch. Just better take care. Before I do that though, I need to work out what's happening at the top so that I can get it kind of in the middle. I think if I fold down this white edge a little bit, I'm gonna give that a wee mitre. I don't know why I'm finding this so difficult. Like, I seem to be making a complete and utter meal of this. It's bizarre. Maybe it's the heat. Maybe my brain has gone la 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 la. Or maybe I've gone la la. Okay. Taking out all the corners just to make things a little bit easy. I've already glued that down, so I can't do that on that. So that's going to go there. So we're going to trim off the excess here. I've made a million pockets, and yet I'm finding this, because I'm doing it sideways, finding it a total mission, and I did not tear that straight. What's new? Let's just, I'm not worried about it being straight, but I do want it to be within the edge of the pocket, not over the edge. That's better. Okay, so this is our edge here. So I can now punch that. Just a tiny little divot. Actually, green would probably be a good option on this as well. Going to give it a little ink on the inside edge there, so it's not white. That's better. The fun part's going to be the decorating, guys. I have plans for the decorating. Again, I haven't tried it out, but we'll have some fun in the process, even if it does take a minute or two. Right, so now I want to glue, this time with tacky glue, along the gussets. I should have just made a vertical pocket and then turned it sideways. I think my brain would have coped a bit better. I don't know, sometimes you just have a moment, don't you? Or a day where it's just like drawing hen's teeth. Difficult. Okay, so that's going to sit on there. Let's grab our page again just to double check and where we might want to place it. Do you want to place it further up, further down? I like it further up, and it also helps bring some of the bulk up. So we're going to end up with this pocket here and here, and also your belly band in behind, so you know, for your nice big journal card or what have you. So I'm liking that placement there. Just as long as I can get it straight would be preferable. So line it up on my mat, and actually I'm going to find the center. So if I use this as the center, we're going to put it there, and then find the center of that. I know I'm probably overthinking this whole process, so that's going to go about there. Oops, is it? That's the center. 2, 1, 2, and just a little bit over. So it's going to go there. Okay. Roughly. I know, I'm making such a mission of it. Right, so gonna glue it. So I'm using my lines to try to kind of tell me where to glue, and I think I just went way off there, outside the bounds of where I want glue. Right. Oops, no, I don't want it up there. I want it about there. Just lining it up. Doesn't really matter whether it's slightly sideways or not, but I do want it straight, preferably. Right. Awesome. Give it a nice press down. And if we knew which page we were putting it on, we could put it on the page, but I don't know where I want it yet, so I'm not going to do that. Right, so that's the bases. Yes, I made it look super difficult. It's not really that difficult. It's just mind games for me today. Let's move on and do the embellishing. So there's a whole heap of fussy cuts and beautiful bits and pieces that you could use from the kit. But for this, I've got a different idea because, oops, sorry, I just knocked the camera or the stand for the camera. So sorry about the wee shake. I want to use some more of the papers and create some mini little envelopes. And I'm really excited about this part. So I think I'm going to go red. Do I want to go red? Just having a wee quick flick through the papers in front of me. We could go sort of the yellow tones. That might be quite nice as well. What about the yellow dots? Or maybe we could do both. Okay, you convinced me. We might do both. I wonder if there's green dots. There's probably green dots. We might be able to do like all three. And for some reason I've got the hiccups. So please excuse me. Okay, now the envelopes I make, the mini envelopes, are super simple. And I've made them heaps of times, so we shouldn't have any weirdness going on with those. Let's choose a width. Let's go 1.5 inches. Okay, let's do a red one as well. There's no gussets, no fancy things. I need to take the white strip off first. Let's do that. Just very, very simple. You could do them a bit fancier. Just feels, you know, depends how you feel, whether you want to get really involved or do it nice and simple. I think at this stage, simple suits me very nicely. Have we got a green dot? Yes, we do. Let's do a green dot as well. So I think that's kind of fun. And when I say kind of fun, I mean it is fun. Okay, and 1.5. So I'm doing them all the same size. You could vary the sizes if you wanted. I'm just trying to keep things a little bit more streamlined given my difficulties with the first part of the process. Okay, so we do need to just take off this white. I should have done it with the guillotine, but it's only a little bit. Actually, we probably do need the guillotine to cut these to the length that we need. The beauty with the spots is that there's no direction, so it's actually quite a useful pattern to use for many, many bits of ephemera, because you're not worried about if you fold it in half, oh, that bit's now upside down and I don't like that. Oh, this, it won't matter. Don't they look pretty together? Oh, I love those. I need to use these patterns in other ways through the journal. Seriously, I want to create other things that use these three together, because I think that's super pretty. So how much do I want? About that. So if we go there, just loosely. So let's go 3.5 inches. There's no right or wrong here, it's just what looks good to you. And if we mess up, well, I've got more strips there. We can just cut different lengths, but should be fine. Okay, so we've got fun strips there for something else. Okay, and I want to, so I'm going to put it on my 23 centimeter line here. Actually, no, I'm going to pull it down. Is that still on camera? Yes, it is. Okay, because this is a thicker line, so I can find it more easily. And we're going to fold it up to where? No, not that one. I want to do them the same, that's why I'm working this out. About there. So I'm just going to take a pencil mark. Take a pencil and make a mark on the line that I want to fold to, and that's just going to make it a little bit quicker for the next one. So I'm not having to rework it out, I can just go straight to that line. See? Much quicker, isn't it? And you've got something to work to. Okay, now I'm going to rub that mark off so it doesn't transfer to anything else. Now here I am going to fold down almost to the top of that piece of paper, so there's a couple of millimeters above it, and that does not look straight. Story of my life today, it's like, oh, that's not straight. So same on all of them. It doesn't matter if there's a slight variance. I've got the main bit working for me. So if it's a few millimeters off, it's not really going to make any difference. Okay, so we've got the bases of our little envelopes. So I'm going to do a few little touches. So on the bottom piece, I'm going to just loosely fold it in half, and from the two corners I'm going to take just a shallow little curve out, so that when you're like that, and this one, the top one, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to fold it loosely together, so I'm not creasing the fold, it's just marking the center and getting it symmetrical. And this time we're going to do a curve up, so starting lower but not too low, and just giving it a curve. So that one goes that way, this one goes down, this one goes up. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's ink around it, and that might help visibility. And this will be the, as well as the spots, the colour of the ink will be the uniting feature between them. And just a little bit along that top edge there. You could ink the inside if you want in here. I think I'm just going to leave it white. So I'm going to glue. You could leave them openable, completely openable, and put something, you know, have it as a writing spot. But I'm going to glue it up. Just put a fine bead of glue up the two sides. If you want to make them a little bit bigger, then perhaps work some gussets in there, so you're not narrowing your real estate inside the envelope. So that one. Now let's do the cuts on the other two. So the longer piece, you're doing a curve down. I'm just trying to get those corners lined up. Don't make it too deep because they're only little envelopes. curve there, and at the top we're going the opposite way. A little bit fiddlier when they're so small. That one, let's do this one while we're doing that. Oops, bit fumbly as well. And then the opposite way. Okay, so we can get rid of all our shrapnel now. Grab the ink, perhaps put the scissors, close them for a start, and put them out of harm's way from accidental injury. So you can see how much it shows up on this yellow colour, the red ink. Okay, and this one. I'm getting tired too. It's probably the heat. Mind you, it is 4:30 in the afternoon. Normally I'd be done by filming by now, but can't film and get all the washing done and duck down the road and do an errand and blah blah blah, and still get all my videos done before lunchtime. So what I want to do here, oh, I need to glue these ones up. Whoops, hang on. Hold the phone. Need to glue all those together. Now you could just use these purely as decoration. You don't need to make them usable, but I want them to be usable and I want to pop something inside them. It might be a little tricky to find something that fits, but I'll work it out. So we've glued them together, and now I want to kind of create a little cascade kind of envelopes like so. We might need to put a little circle punch as a wee closure. Do I want them like that? I think that looks quite cute. I'm just wondering whether I want the yellow one at the top. And I'm hanging them off the top and the bottom of the pocket underneath, but I'm not putting them in the middle. I want them kind of, actually, do I want them even to curve around a little bit more? Something like that. Doesn't really matter. Tricky part is gluing them on and not getting glue where you don't want it. So I'm going to put glue roughly where I think, and then I can always go in with my thin nozzle and get any areas where I need a bit of extra glue, without it going, you know, threatening to go on your paper and closing things you don't want closed. So I think everything except that corner on this one. And this one, maybe everything but that sort of area. flip it over and make sure haven't got glue where we don't want it, and we might want to put it anywhere else. Oops, we do have a little bit of glue there we don't want. Okay, otherwise that's looking pretty good. Isn't that fun? Like if I take that away, I don't know if I've got a plain bit of paper here. Just got a pad of paper here. I imagine that's your journal page. Doesn't that look cute? I think that looks really adorable. I'm quite happy with it so far. So I'm thinking I probably need to put a little circle. So let's grab out my circle punch, just a small one. We don't want a giant one. Just this little, what is it, 1/2 inch? Yeah, I think it's 1/2 inch. Round about 1/2 inch. Okay, so we'll use that one. What paper do I want to use? The same papers and just like mix and match. That could be quite cute as well. Let's punch one of each. These, better check the time too. I feel like I've been on here for ages. Oh yeah, I have. We've still got time, but yeah, time is marching on. These are little ink. I'll probably ink my fingers. Now see, there's colour under my thumbnail there. That's from when I was spraying the doilies. I thought, oh, I'm just doing a couple of doilies. I'm not going to get all inky. It'll be fine. And then the very first bottle of my spray that I opened, it must have been pressurized with the heat or something. And it just jumped out the top of it and all over my hand. So I've got bits here and there. I was like, yeah, that'd be right. Thought I was safe. Just a quick couple of doilies in the spray box. No dramas. And the first thing it did was it jumped out and got me. Right, so I'm thinking if we like did the different colours. Oh, that's cute. Love that. Okay, let's just put a little bit of glue just on the bottom of your dot or your circle. Actually, I need to go around the other way because I'm right-handed. And trying to aim for the middle. And then just pull it up. Once you've got it in place, pull it up so that you don't risk gluing it in there. If you position it right, it won't glue in, but just a little tip is it's always pays to pull up your flap just in case, because you can always trim a little bit off your flap, but if it's glued down, you either have to leave it glued down or destroy it pulling it up. So it's just easier to position it, and then just for safety's sake, open it back up and let the glue dry. And you know, when you press something with glue on, the glue spreads out, so it's insurance against it spreading out too much and gluing your piece shut. Okay, so we've got fun coloured dots, and that just already gives some decoration, doesn't it? So my thought for these wee envelopes, and I haven't worked it out ahead of time, is finding some Christmassy words like this stamp set. Just grab it out. It's stuck on this blue sheet here, so we'll just leave it there. But there's like these little sentiments that we could just stamp on a little bit of paper or cardstock and slide in, and I think we've got at least 4 options on that would fit on a piece of paper inside there. So it's just a little something for the owner of the journal to find. So I won't do that right now because I haven't prepared any paper to stamp on. I'm just going to close these up now, and we'll pretend our little slip of paper is in there. When I finish the journal, there'll be a flip through and we might take a wee peek at what's in there. So I do want to add some sort of focal image. or perhaps a word. I do also have the vertical Christmas words and labels from the Junk Journal Studio to use as well. So fussy cuts. I think let's go fussy cuts and have a look what we might like. It's been a while since I cut this kit out, so I can't quite remember exactly what's in here. But knowing Michelle from the Junk Journal Studio, there are lots and lots of goodies. Like, look at these bows. And these bows are actually made to go back to back. There's like two, and so you grab two of the same colour. And they're made to actually be able to be glued back to back. So you've got a double-sided bow. And how clever is that? But in itself, like, wouldn't that be beautiful? It's not what I want for this, but it would be beautiful. It's a cute little child with their armful of toys. This lovely lady. I'm just kind of going through, having a look, seeing, because we need to not cover our envelopes. We need to be able to get into them. Wreath, little snowmen. That's actually kind of cute there. I think the big one's a bit big. In all of Michelle's kits, there's usually different size options. So if you have something like this, there's usually multiple sizes that you can choose from, which is really helpful. I like the snowmen so far the most. I quite like the way she's looking towards the envelopes. That's really cute. Could put her off to the side a little bit. I like that as well. I have to make a decision sometime this century. No, don't want her in there. There's a beautiful angel. Again, looking at the envelopes. But I think I like the girl better for that location. Santa with a doll. Super sweet. They're just gorgeous, aren't they? Very vintage, probably Victorian, sort of edging towards Victorian, if not Victorian. I don't know my periods all that well and recognizing, you know, what period an image is from, but that's my estimation. Oh, I like her. Okay. You know, sometimes you just know it when you see it. And there were several lovely options. Whoops, let's put the bows back in there before I scoot them on the floor. You know, they would have been great, and I was quite happy. I thought they looked lovely, but then I found her, and she's like, yep, I want her there. She's got a couple of little white bits, and I probably won't do a fantastic removal of them, but I do want to remove the bulk of that white. You could just use some ink. My knife is tearing, so I need to change the blade. I've noticed it just over the last few days that it's now tearing paper again, and that's usually a sign that the tip's very blunt, because I use the tip the most. I guess most people do tend to use the tip. Well, that just a tiny little bit of white left at the bottom, but I think that's can live with that. These gaps are too small. I wouldn't consider going in with my fussy cutting scissors, because they're just, I wouldn't get the scissors in there very easily, even though my scissors are very, very tiny. Oops. So moving it one way then the next, and I just couldn't get it the right location. See, that's pulling the paper rather than cutting it, which is really frustrating. And now I am actually going to grab my fussy cutting scissors because just didn't quite get right to the end. So they're proving me a liar that you can actually get your scissors in there. Right, there we go. Pretty happy with that. And I don't think I'm going to ink around her, but I do see a bit of white I've left on this wing. So we'll just remove that while we're here. And she is going to go there. Oh, she's just adorable. And fits beautifully in that space. Oops. Some dried glue on my nozzle. So I was anticipating that we would get to make the card to go inside this pocket and something to go behind the belly band, but no, we're not going to have time for that. So I will do that off camera. Probably once I've figured out what page this is going to go on as well, because that might dictate what I want to use. Or there might even be some piece of ephemera in the kit that I want to use. But I can't remember, so I need to look at everything again. Isn't she a beautiful wee cherub? Holding a wee candle there. So just a little bit of her hat, excuse me, and a little bit of her foot hanging over, but just the barest little bit. I think that's so adorable. I love it. And on a page, whatever page it's going to end up on, we're going to have, wait for it. So I'm going to grab one of my glue pages as an example. We're going to have a belly band with a bigger journal card than that. Please excuse me, Mr. Frog. Then we're going to have a journal card in there. This is too big, but journal card in there. And then we're going to have the surprise little stamped sentiments or images or something. I might even go with images. Depends what I decide in my stash that will fit. Stamp it on some paper or some heavy paper or cardstock and slide them in there for a secret little surprise, which could be written on the back of as well. I love that. I think that's really something different and unique. I hope that you enjoyed my rather inept walkthrough, but we discovered together. We worked it out, we got there, and you know, oopses, accidents, things that go wrong, it's always fixable, my friends. Never give up. Just keep going. Turn it into something else. If it's really not working, just take that and try again. Start with another one and turn what you were doing into something that does work. Okay guys, I'll leave it there. Thanks for joining me. Remember, the papers here from the Junk Journal Studio, Christmas Wonder, is available in her shop. All the links will be down below for you to hop along and check it out. Also, which you didn't get to see today, but the vertical words, Christmas words and labels, which I will be using throughout this project. I may add a word, but I really like this composition, so probably not. Take care, and I'll be back again soon with another video. Have a great day, my friends. Bye for now.